Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. I went shopping at Joann Fabrics and Crafts and I bought some really fun fabric. I also bought a little clothing pattern. I'm going to give you suggestions on how you can use this fabric. And I'm also going to give you a little tip on the pattern I bought, whether you should buy it or not. I also made one little quick stop at Walmart. Okay, let's get started. When I saw this pattern, I had to get it. It was mostly what attracted me was the jacket. And the jacket brought back memories of the 1980s. You remember we wore these big long jackets with the shoulder pads? Well, this doesn't have shoulder pads, thank goodness. I do not want to do that again. But the jacket looks so comfortable and it also looks really nice. And if you decide to get this, and it is marked easy, it's called New Look, and Joann puts their easy patterns up on a shelf near where their catalog books are for buying patterns. They're on a shelf on display. Always make sure you measure your body before you buy a pattern. Read everything on the back before you buy the pattern so you know what you're getting into. I also noticed that this jacket requires you to buy a button, which means you'd have to make a buttonhole. So before you start buying anything that requires a buttonhole, practice with your buttonhole maker on your sewing machine so you know what you're getting and that you feel confident to go ahead and pursue something like this really cute jacket. This is clothing fabric that I bought, and I bought it off of the clearance table. It was the end of the bolt. I think it was only about 1¼ yards, but I am going to try to make a blouse out of it because it's very wide fabric. The reason why I bought it is that the regular fabric that they had on the non-clearance section, even though they were having a sale, the fabrics were so expensive, and I thought, I just can't afford that anymore. So if you're on a low budget, check out the clearance table because every now and then you will find something that will work for you. This was the only thing I found that I liked. So what I'm thinking about it, because it's such a small piece of fabric, I've used this particular pattern in other tutorials. And there's one here, these are dolman sleeves, real easy pattern to do. It has these sleeves that are so simple. This particular blouse doesn't use that much fabric. And so I might just be able to squeeze this pattern onto this fabric. Joann's was having a sale on their St. Patrick's Day fabric. And I still have some, but I have small pieces or odd sizes. So I decided to buy these two. And I don't have these prints on my little section where I keep my St. Patrick's fabric. And I only bought a ½ yard because I usually just do small projects for that particular holiday. And what can you do with this? Okay, well, there's a lot of things. You can use it in making quilts. You can take this, cut a large square and put sashing around it. You can make wonderful pot holders. You could cut this out so that one of these shamrocks is right in the center of that pot holder. Another thing you can do that's really quick and simple is to make drink coasters out of this. So if you're going to have a little party on St. Patrick's Day, think about making drink coasters. And you could do the same with this, or you can even make a decorative towel out of these. There's so many things you can make out of this fabric. Now, if you've been watching me on YouTube for a while, you might have heard me mention that I love roosters and even chickens. I don't have them as pets. I don't want them as pets, but I love making things that have roosters or chickens in it. Where you would find something like this is in the novelty section at Joann's. My Joann's that I go to has a fairly large section of novelty fabrics. And so usually when I make these, or excuse me, when I use this kind of fabric, it's usually for my kitchen or dining room area. So I love making table runners for my dining table, and also I have a piece of furniture called a buffet, I will make a long table runner for that. Also, again, like I mentioned on the other fabric, you can cut one of these out and put it in the center of a pot holder, make drink coasters. Now, if you like novelty curtains, this would make really cute kitchen curtains. Now, this is fabric I already had, and I've had it for quite a while, several years. This is the other type of novelty fabrics. Things like this you can find on that novelty fabric aisle. All things from sports to kitchens to cats and dogs, everything imaginable. Cars, I saw many with cars all over it. So think about spicing up your projects by using novelty fabric. They were also having a sale on their seasonal fabrics. So this is fall fabric, and again, I have a lot of fall fabric, but little small pieces. And so I decided because it was on sale, I'm going to go ahead and buy some for the next holiday season. And I bought 1 yard of all of these. This one I really liked. If you were going to make a fall quilt, I love this as a border fabric. So maybe put some really pretty large squares in the middle of your quilt and then do a nice border around it. So in the center of your quilt, use these colors that are in here and pick some yellows and some greens and rusts and whatever is in here and put that in that quilt and then make this your border. This is one other piece that I decided to buy. This has got turkeys on it. I'm usually not drawn to just all brown in fabrics, but this would make a nice accent fabric as a little border to something maybe that you're going to make. It could make a border around a placemat. So I only bought 1/2 yard of this. Now this other one is my favorite, and this is so gorgeous. Isn't this pretty? There again, here's another one where you could cut large squares out of it. Put sashing in between your squares, and this would make a stunning fall quilt. Also, use this for your placemats, pot holders, many, many things. Cut out 1 flower drink coaster. So this fabric will not go to waste because there's so many things out there that you can make. This fabric here is something for my personal use that I'm going to make, and I won't have a tutorial on it because I'm going on an adventure of making a slip cover for an ottoman chair. It actually had sides up on it, and I've never done that before. I've made slip covers for ottomans, but nothing like that one. And so this is just your quilting fabric. I will put cotton batting on it. I will do quilting stitches. There'll be some lining on the underside. But then I found this fabric, and another thing I'm going to try, I don't know if I'll be very successful at it, is that I'm going to cut piping strips. And remember, when you have piping, you need to cut them on a diagonal, going from one corner down to the other corner. And so I will be making piping, and I'm going to try to add it into the seams just to make everything pop out. If I'm successful at it, I'll show it to you. If I'm not successful at it, you won't hear about it again. I purchased this from my local Walmart in the sewing and crafts sections. Remember, not all Walmarts will have these items. They don't carry sewing and crafts at all of their stores. This is burlap, and I was a little hesitant to buy it because burlap you cannot wash. You need to either get it dry cleaned, or your other option is spray it with Scotch Guard so that you can wipe it off. What I liked about it was the simplicity of it. It had this nice lace trim going all through the center. Now there's about 10 feet of this, which is really long. What I'm going to do is might be making a table runner, and I'm going to embellish it. So I will do a tutorial on it. And again, it's from a Walmart check to make sure your Walmart has items like this in it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this shopping haul, and I hope that you're going to try to do some of these projects I've talked about. Start looking at novelty fabrics. It makes it so much more fun to sew when you have something really interesting on the fabrics. Now, to get to projects that I've done using fabrics similar to this, you want to scroll down below your YouTube screen to the description section. Click on the word more and it will expand open, and then you'll begin to see the links. Now, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and make sure you check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.